It's much appreciated that you would join us in the trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, coming to you from the studios that they provide to us as well. And don't take that lightly that you're joining us. I thought this time of year, the Senior Bowl coming up, the other all-star games, it always takes me back to my senior year at Syracuse University and how fortunate I was to be able to have a good season my senior year and get invited to these all-star games. And the way it laid out my senior season couldn't have been better. I played in 4 of them in a 5-week time frame because they were all on different weekends. Some of them, they were never on the same weekend. So I had a full week of preparation at least between every single football game. So I was hopscotching all over the place, man. Ben Schwartzwalder, my head coach at Syracuse University, a college football Hall of Fame coach, 25 straight non-losing seasons. Are you kidding me? Ben Schwartzwalder, I'm sure he was instrumental in me getting these opportunities. And it started out at the Blue-Gray game in Montgomery, Alabama. And so head down to Montgomery, Alabama. And, it doesn't matter what city you're in, because you're there for football. It's all business, man. You're there to prove that you belong to be in consideration to go to the next level. You want to go from the college football to the National Football League. And even at the Blue-Gray game, I'm looking around at those practices, and they were pretty, it was pretty good full go. I mean, we were getting after it, even at practice. And you see assistant coaches from other teams. You see head coaches from other teams. You see general managers. You see owners from other teams. I mean, it's crazy. You see the commissioner from the National Football League, at some of these games. And it was, you had to keep your focus. I mean, you had to make sure that you were there, make sure that you're handling business right in front of you. You're winning your one-on-one battles. You're not making mistakes, at the line of scrimmage. You're not causing issues that would be apparent to these people. You want to make sure that you're taking every step you take is an intentional step, and it's the one in the right direction. Because then they come out after practices and they interview you, and you have the just the very casual, take your helmet off and you're talking to these these faces of the sport. I mean, they're the people that you hope to work for. So it was an unbelievable experience to go to the Blue-Gray game. Then I traveled from the Blue-Gray game to the East-West Shrine game to San Francisco. And man, I play in the East-West Shrine game in San Francisco, California. And it was incredible. And great players. I mean, playing against Dave Gallagher, All-American defensive tackle from Michigan, playing against guys like Ed Too Tall Jones, in these games, who was the number 1 pick of the draft for the Dallas Cowboys, in those football games, and in some of those football games. He's coming off the edge. Wayman Bryant was a teammate of his, chewed a toothpick. Every single snap of practice, every single snap of a game, chewed a toothpick. No mouthpiece, chewing a toothpick. Making plays all over the football field. I'm like, these guys are men, and these are grown men. Carl Barzalauskas, big guy from Indiana, All-American, first-round pick with the New York Jets. He was the big interior defensive tackle. You having to prove yourself against these guys. And I can remember these practices so vividly, like it was yesterday. And then go from San Francisco out to Hawaii for the Hula Bowl. Man, are you kidding me? Thinking, oh, man, Hawaii, vacation, fun, sun, sand, surf. Bo Schembechler, head coach. We worked hard. I mean, we worked really hard. We were in full pads 2 times a day. He had 2-a-days for 4 straight days at the Hula Bowl. We're like, Coach, when are we going to be able to go out to the beach? The beach? We got a game to win, boys. And we destroy them. We beat them I think it was 31-7 or some crazy number like that. It was a lot to a little, I can tell you that. And, man, he was all business. But, boy, did I learn a lot from Bo Schembechler, man. And I'm telling you, that guy was inspirational. And he and Ben Schwartzwalder were very, very close friends. So, Bo Schembechler comes up to me after one practice, and he says, young man, you're doing a hell of a job. I'm hearing good things about you. I'm hearing good buzz. And Ben told me all about you. I said, Ben, my coach, Ben Schwartzwalder? He goes, yeah, we're very good friends. And he told me all, and I'm thinking, this is unbelievable. So then after the Hula Bowl, got a little bit of time to go in the surf, hit the water in Hawaii and have some of the fun and some of the fruity drinks, and in the grass skirts with the hula dancers, but it wasn't a vacation, believe me. And then I go from Hawaii, go to the Senior Bowl, back to Mobile. So start in Mobile, go west, young man, to San Francisco. Go west further, young man, to Hawaii. Then all the way from Hawaii to Mobile, Alabama, back to Alabama. In Mobile, not a whole lot going on in that town, to be quite honest. I loved it, because it was good to me. But the Senior Bowl, and that's when that was serious business, because that was that was kind of the cream of the cream in terms of guys that you were working against. A lot of these guys that were participating in the Senior Bowl were probably going to get drafted, and more interviews, almost on a daily basis, on the football field, in the classroom interviews, up on the chalkboard, showing what kind of football knowledge you have with X's and O's. There were no grease boards or anything like that even at that time. Forget, overhead projectors or whatever. I mean, we were on the chalkboard. Now, they did have grease boards, but they didn't have them in Mobile, Alabama. So it was very in overhead projectors and all that. We had that, but it wasn't available to us in Mobile for the players. So it was a tremendous experience. There's no question about it. And it was my first exposure to professional coaching at the Senior Bowl. We had the late, great Mike McCormick and his staff at the Philadelphia Eagles. Mike McCormick, Paul Brown, said to me, Mike McCormick was the greatest football player he ever coached. What? An offensive tackle with the Cleveland Browns on the great Browns teams with Otto Graham, Jimmy Brown, all those guys. Mike McCormick was the guy that he said was the greatest football player he ever coached. Kansas, All-American from the fields out in Kansas, man. This guy was a great player, not a good player, great player. He's the head coach. And then I had John Standusky was my offensive line coach. He played professional football with the Colts in the offensive line. I got my head coach, my offensive line coach, and two former offensive linemen that were decorated offensive linemen. I'm like, how lucky am I? Are you kidding me? And the special teams coach, his first year in coaching in that staff in Mobile, Alabama, on the Philadelphia Eagles, Dick LeBeau, had just retired from the National Football League after a stellar, lengthy career with the Detroit Lions. And he was the special teams coach for the Philadelphia Eagles and Mike McCormick. And my biggest memory, honestly, of the Senior Bowl, first practice, we'd line up for kickoff. Dick LeBeau goes, Lapham. I come running off the sideline. You're my R1. You're covering kickoff, son. Coach, I've never covered a kickoff in my life. Well, get yourself familiar with it. You're the fastest lineman we got. You got to cover kickoff, son. Down I go and, hit the wedge. And, man, that was an experience too. So these college all-star games, and you're thinking, yeah, man, the glory of college all-star games, you crazy? When I came back and told my friends that I was on the kickoff coverage team, as well as kickoff return, as well as extra point field goal, all that, like you had to play all the special teams. I mean, I wasn't on the punt team or the punt return team, but, it's like, are you kidding me? Well, we didn't have that many guys. So it was an interesting dynamic. But I was gone from school for 5 weeks. 5 straight weeks, I'm gone. I'm playing football games, 4 of them. We won all of them, went 4-0 in the All-Star game run. That's the big thing that sticks in my mind. Fortunate enough to be on the winning team in all 4 of them. Had to come back and catch up with the classwork, though. But my professors were very good. I told them I was going to be gone for 5 straight weeks, and they all gave me books and future plans and all that sort of thing to let me keep up. So I took a couple of exams with me and did them and mailed them back in, snail mail back then, and tried to keep up with things. So it was an interesting challenge, academically and athletically for sure. But man, was it worth it! I'll never forget it. As you can see, I mean, it's a bunch of years later. We're talking 1970, 69, the end of 69 into 1970. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. Good times. Great times. Unbelievable. Missed those times. But this time of year, they always come flooding back to me. Dave Lapham here. While games are over for the season, there's no off-season for In the Trenches with Dave Lapham or First Star Logistics. First Star Logistics gave away great prizes during the season, which will continue with exclusive content in the First Star Media Group YouTube channel. So please, do me a favor, subscribe to In the Trenches, hit the like button, and visit the First Star Media Group YouTube channel for exclusive content and special giveaways.